afternoon, everyone. My name is Debbie Aller. I'm the Agricultural Stewardship Specialist with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County. And today we're going to be talking about how to install a lysimeter in the field. We're out here on a fall day in a pumpkin patch to do this as a demonstration for you. And to start, I want to talk about what you need to bring with you to the field to install a lysimeter. The first one is the lysimeter of whatever depth that you are using for your study or you plan to install in the field. In this case today, we're just going to install a 1 foot deep lysimeter, but you can use one 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. So it just depends on whether you prefer a shallow or deep sampler for whatever you're looking to monitor. So with the lysimeter, it should also come with a cap and a plastic ring to close the lysimeter cap to create the suction. So there's your lysimeter. Another thing you would like is just a bucket, an empty bucket, and a trowel for mixing and scooping. You will want to bring your silica flour out to the field, which is this fine white powder. And that's going to be for creating the slurry. You're going to want to also have a jug of water to create that slurry. You're going to want to have an auger to drill, to core out the soil to create the hole for installing your lysimeter. You'll also want to bring the bentonite clay to the field. We just took some from a larger 50-pound bag and put it in a smaller bag for carrying out to the field. And you're also going to want some type of tarp or piece of cardboard, in my case today, where you can lay the soil out when you are removing it from the field with the auger, just so you can line it up as you're pulling it out from the ground. All right, so now we're going to take our auger and the spot in the field where we're planning to install the lysimeter. This may be next to a plant, underneath a drip line, wherever you're looking to collect data. It might be in a research plot or something like that. So now we're going to go ahead and use the auger. And you're going to want to dig down several inches beyond the depth of installation, about 2 or 3 inches deeper than the length of the lysimeter itself. And then each time you're removing the soil with the auger, you want to make sure you're leaving it in piles by depth. So the top of the hole all the way down to the bottom. So each time you take out an auger full of soil, just keep it organized with the depth. One more. Okay. So that's just about perfect, actually. Now we've used the auger and we've dug our hole for installing the lysimeter. And you can see we have laid out the soil on this tarp over here, or piece of cardboard in this case. So when we go back to refill the hole, we have the soil according to depth. All right, so the next step after we've dug our hole is we're going to create our silica slurry. So we have a bucket here of our silica powder, and we are going to just estimate roughly, is how we've done it, of some of the silica with water. You want to mix it until you get a pancake-like consistency. So it's pourable, but there's some thickness to it. And you want to create enough so you'll be able to pour it for about a 4 to 6 inch depth within the hole that will cover the porous ceramic cup. So I pour some of the flour in here, and now we're going to add some water. And it's important when you're making the slurry that you continuously stir, because once you stop stirring, it will harden up. So we are just going to stir and make our slurry. And with that amount of water, it's a bit too liquidy right now. So we're going to go back and add some more flour until we get a thick enough pancake-like consistency. Perfect. All right, so now you can see it's about a pancake-like consistency. We will be able to pour that in our hole. So after we have dug our hole and we've prepared our slurry here, we are going to pour our bentonite clay to the bottom of the hole that we augered, and we want to pour about 2 inches at the bottom. And this is going to create almost like a rock-like cement seal on the bottom of our hole. Just kind of estimate with that. You can bring out a measuring tape and use that to measure the depth there of the hole. And then we want to kind of lightly level off that bentonite clay on the bottom. And now we're going to get ready to install our lysimeter. So the way a lysimeter works is it has a porous ceramic cup at the bottom that you can see with a PVC type tube at the top. And what happens is when there's a difference in pressure, so when you charge up a lysimeter, you create a suction or a vacuum within the lysimeter itself, and it will take the water from the pore space within the soil, draw it into the cup, and hold in the cup until there's a change within the pressure, again, between the soil and the lysimeter itself. So now, with that lysimeter and our slurry, we are going to pour enough slurry, about 6 inches. In this case, you can do more. You just want to pour enough to make sure you get the center of the porous ceramic cup within the center of the silica slurry so it hardens around it. So now we're going to go ahead and pour our slurry in there. We want to make sure we definitely have enough here, so we'll pour everything we prepared in there. Just set that aside. And now we have our lysimeter here. We've already pre-measured with a little Sharpie the depth we want to install it, so that line should be at the soil surface. And then before the slurry dries, we want to make sure we set the lysimeter in the middle of that slurry, and we kind of move it around a little bit to make sure we get rid of any air pockets in the slurry that may affect how water will move in there. And then once we have it set and you want the lysimeter in the middle of the hole and in the middle of the slurry, we're just going to need to hold it or somehow keep it stable until that silica hardens around the lysimeter and it's no longer moving in there. Now the silica has hardened and our lysimeter is secure in there and it has remained vertical within that hole. The next step is to pour another layer of bentonite clay on top of that hardened slurry. So we're just gonna pour some around in the hole, and you wanna get it another few inches on top, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches on top to create another hardened layer in there. So we poured that around. You just want to have some type of stick with you and just kind of make sure it's packed around there and even within the hole. The next step after that is now we're going to start backfilling our hole with the soil we had removed earlier, and we want to remember to start with the deepest soil and then backfill to our top soil. So now we'll take some of our soil and we'll start packing it in around our lysimeter. So then now we're almost at the top and we're going to keep filling around and want to create a mound around our lysimeter. Make sure it's firmly packed there. If this is so water will not just run preferentially down the lysimeter itself, but it will flow normally, whether from a rainfall event or through some type It will disperse naturally within the soil pores. There's another plastic gasket that could be purchased that you would put over the lysimeter at this point, and that's again to make sure the water is not flowing directly down along the lysimeter into that cap. So now we have that mounted, and now we have the three components of our cap for a lysimeter. The plastic seal, which you can see has a little slice indent here that will fit nicely into the lysimeter. We have our hose piece that fits into our cap, which we will use to charge it up, as well as to extract leachate from the lysimeter. And then we have this hard plastic ring that we will use to close off the plastic hose there. So we are gonna now cap the lysimeter like that. Now our lysimeter is capped and it is installed in the field.